Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Relaxing English Zone, where learning English is easy, practical, and fun. I'm so happy you're here today.
Hi, everyone. I'm excited because today's lesson is going to help you speak English more naturally.
That's right. Today we're going to learn 6 important modal verbs: can, could, may, might, have to, and ought to.
These words are everywhere in English. Native speakers use them every single day.
Exactly. If you understand how to use them, your English will sound much more natural.
And don't worry, we'll use simple examples in real conversations.
Let's begin with the first word, can. We use can to talk about ability, permission, and possibility.
That sounds easy. Can you give me an example?
Of course, I can swim. It means I know how to swim.
So if I say, I can drive, it means I know how to drive a car.
Perfect. Here's another one. She can speak English.
Nice. What about permission?
Good question. Can I open the window? You're asking for permission.
So I can also say, can I use your phone?
Exactly. Here's another everyday example. Can I sit here?
That's very common.
Now let's practice. Can you cook?
Yes, I can. I love cooking Italian food.
Really? What's your favorite dish?
Pizza.
Great answer. Now let me ask another question. Can you play the guitar?
No, I can't.
That's okay. Can you dance?
Only when nobody is watching.
That's probably true for many people. Now let's talk about could.
Is could the past form of can?
Yes, that's one important use. For example, when I was 10 years old, I could ride a bicycle.
So if I say, when I was a child, I could run very fast, that's correct?
Perfect. Now, could is also used to make polite requests. Listen carefully. Could you help me?
That sounds more polite than, can you help me?
Exactly. Americans often use could because it sounds softer and more respectful. Here are more examples. Could you open the door? Could you repeat that? Could you speak a little slower?
Those are excellent expressions for English learners.
Absolutely. Imagine you're visiting New York and you need directions. You could say, "Excuse me, could you tell me where the nearest subway station is?"
That sounds very polite.
Yes, and people usually appreciate polite questions. Let's play a quick game. I'll ask you some questions. Ready?
I'm ready.
Can you fly?
Only in my dreams.
Can you cook spaghetti?
Yes, I can.
Could you cook spaghetti when you were 5 years old?
Absolutely not.
Could you lend me $1 million?
I could if I had $1 million.
That's a very smart answer. Fantastic! We've just learned how to use can and could in everyday English.
That's right. Remember, can is commonly used to talk about ability, permission, and possibility, while could is often used for past ability and polite requests.
Before we move on, let's do one quick review together.
Great idea.
I'll ask the questions and you answer them with us. Can you swim?
Yes, I can.
Could you drive a car when you were 10 years old?
No, I couldn't.
Excellent. One more. Could you help me carry these boxes?
Of course, I'd be happy to help.
Perfect. Those are exactly the kinds of sentences you'll hear in everyday conversations.
Now it's your turn. Pause the video if you need a little more time and try making one sentence with can and another with could.
The more you practice, the more natural your English will become. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every mistake helps you improve. All right, we've finished our first 2 modal verbs. And now we're moving on to the next pair, may and might. These two words are very useful because they help you ask for permission and talk about things that are possible but not certain. Native English speakers use may and might every day, and by the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly when to use each one. So, let's jump right in and discover how may and might work in real-life English conversations. Now let's learn two more important modal verbs, may and might.
These two words look very similar. Do they have the same meaning?
That's a great question. They are very similar because they both talk about possibility, but there is a small difference.
I'm listening.
We usually use may when something is possible. For example, it may rain this afternoon.
So there's a good chance that it will rain.
Exactly. Now listen to this one. I may go to the gym after work. It means I'm thinking about going, but I haven't decided yet.
So you're not 100% sure.
That's right. Now let's look at might. We often use might when something is possible, but we're a little less sure.
Can you give me an example?
Of course. It might snow this weekend. Maybe it will snow, maybe it won't.
So might sounds a little less certain than may.
Exactly. Both are correct, and native speakers use both every day. Imagine it's Saturday morning. Your friend calls you and says, "Do you want to go to the beach today?" What could you answer?
I could say, I may go. Let me check the weather first.
Excellent. Or you could say, "I might stay home because I'm a little tired."
That sounds very natural.
Exactly. Here's another example. My brother may visit us this weekend. And I could also say, he might bring his children with him. May for permission.
I've also heard people say, may I come in?
Excellent observation. May is also used to ask for permission in a polite way. For example, may I ask you a question?
That's more formal than saying, can I ask you a question?
Exactly. Here are a few more examples. May I use your phone? May I sit here? May I open the window?
Those sound very polite.
Yes, especially in school, at work, or when speaking to someone you don't know very well. Let's have some fun. Imagine you're planning a picnic. What's the first thing you would say?
It may be sunny tomorrow.
Very good. But then you check the weather again.
Oh no, it might rain in the afternoon.
Exactly. Would you still go?
I may, but I might take an umbrella.
That's a smart idea. Now imagine you forgot your umbrella.
Then I might get completely wet.
And you may catch a cold.
I hope not.
Let's see if everyone is paying attention. Question number 1. Which sentence is correct? A. I may visit my grandmother tomorrow. Or B. I may visited my grandmother tomorrow.
The correct answer is A. I may visit my grandmother tomorrow.
Excellent. Remember, after may or might, always use the base form of the verb. Not may goes, not might went, just the base verb. For example, she may come. They might arrive late. We may watch a movie tonight.
That's an easy rule to remember.
Let's imagine we're making weekend plans. What are you doing this Saturday?
I'm not sure yet. I may visit my parents.
Sounds nice. What about Sunday?
I might stay home and watch a movie.
Why?
Because the weather might be bad.
That's possible. I may go hiking if it's sunny.
And if it rains?
Then I might spend the whole day sleeping.
That actually sounds like a great backup plan.
Let's review together. We use may to talk about possibility and to ask for permission politely.
And we use might to talk about something that is possible, but a little less certain.
Excellent. Now it's your turn. Think of one sentence using may and another sentence using might. Pause the video if you need more time.
The more you practice these modal verbs, the more natural your English will sound.
Great job! We've now learned can, could, may, and might.
We still have two very useful modal expressions left.
That's right. In the next section, we'll learn have to and ought to. You'll discover how to talk about obligations, responsibilities, and giving good advice in everyday English.
Let's keep going. There's still more useful English to learn.
Great job! So far, we've learned 4 important modal verbs: can, could, may, and might.
And now we're going to learn 2 more expressions that native speakers use all the time: have to and ought to.
These 2 are very useful because they help us talk about responsibilities, obligations, and advice.
So let's start with have to.
We use have to when something is necessary or when there is something we must do. For example, I have to go to work.
That means going to work is necessary.
Exactly. Maybe you don't want to go, but it is your responsibility.
So if I say, I have to study tonight, it means studying is important because I have a reason.
Perfect. Let's look at some everyday examples. I have to wake up early tomorrow. She has to take her medicine. They have to wear a uniform at school.
I noticed something. You said has to with she.
Excellent observation. With he, she, and it, we use has to. Examples: he has to work today. She has to call her mother. It has to be done before Friday.
And with I, you, we, and they, we use have to.
Exactly. Let's imagine it's Monday morning.
Oh no, Monday.
You wake up late. What do you say?
I say, I have to hurry. I have to get ready for work.
Great. Then your friend calls you and asks, do you want to go shopping? What do you say?
Sorry, I can't. I have to work today.
Excellent. That's a very natural answer.
Is have to the same as must?
Good question. They are very similar. For example, I have to wear a uniform at work, and I must wear a uniform at work. Both are correct.
Is there a difference?
Sometimes. Have to often comes from an outside rule or situation. Example, I have to wear a seatbelt because it's the law.
The rule comes from the government.
Exactly. But must can sound like a personal decision. Example, I must exercise more. It means I personally feel it is important. Now let's talk about ought to.
This one sounds a little different.
Yes, but it's actually simple. We use ought to give advice or say what is the right thing to do. It is similar to should.
So if I say, you ought to drink more water, I'm giving advice.
Exactly. You think drinking more water is a good idea. Here are some examples. You ought to get more sleep. You ought to practice English every day. You ought to save money.
Those are all good pieces of advice.
Let's practice with some funny situations. Your friend sleeps only 3 hours every night. What would you say?
I would say, you ought to sleep more.
Excellent. Now imagine your friend eats pizza every single day.
I would say, you ought to eat healthier food.
Very good. But what if your friend says, I don't want to change?
Then I would say, you really ought to listen to me.
Exactly. Let's create a real conversation.
Okay,
Why are you so tired today?
because I stayed up late watching movies.
You ought to go to bed earlier.
I know, but the movie was really interesting.
What time did you sleep?
At 2 a.m.
Wow, you have to get more sleep.
You're right. I have to change my habits.
Good answer. Let's review what we learned. We use have to when something is necessary or required. Examples: I have to go to work. She has to study.
And we use ought to when we give advice or recommend something. Examples: you ought to exercise. You ought to practice English.
Excellent. Now we have learned all 6 expressions: can, could, may, might, have to, ought to.
But before we finish, let's put everything together with a final challenge.
Exactly. In the next section, we'll practice all 6 modal verbs in real-life situations and see how naturally English speakers use them in conversations.
Let's continue. The final practice is coming next.
Welcome to the final practice. Now we will use all 6 expressions in real conversations. I want to improve my English, but I don't know what to do.
You ought to practice every day. You can watch English videos and speak with other learners.
That's a good idea. I have to create a study schedule.
Yes, and you might make mistakes at first, but don't worry.
When I was a beginner, I could only say a few words.
Now you may feel more confident because you are improving.
Great job! You have completed the final practice.
Now you know how to use can, could, may, might, have to, and ought to in everyday English.
Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep speaking English.
See you in the next lesson.